God told me to come on here and share the testimony of why exactly I'm going to Uganda. When I was 19 years old, I ended up having to go to rehab, and a girl from my rehab, she ended up going to Born Like Others orphanage. She ended up telling the founder of it, Robert, about me. For whatever reason, she felt it on her heart to tell him about me. He added me on Facebook and we connected that way. At the time, I was really not walking in the faith. I was just coming out of a huge traumatic experience. So I was kind of everywhere. I remember I got on a phone call with Robert. He just really started speaking life over me. He started saying that he feels that I'm gonna be a believer, that I'm gonna be doing things for the Lord, that I would have a business, just speaking all these things that I'd never even really thought about. And I'm just kind of over there like, whoa, like I hadn't given my life fully to Jesus at this time. But here's this random guy in Africa with this orphanage just speaking life over me. He started having regular video conversations. He just became a real brother, a real friend to me, just always encouraging me through like some really, really dark moments in life. And these kids just really always had my heart. Ever since our first conversation, I just knew that I wanted to do something to help them in whatever way that I could. So this was 9 years ago, and then fast forward a couple more years, and I actually started getting into some really, really, really dark stuff. I actually started practicing witchcraft and just kind of all these things, doing all these rituals. I just got into a really, really dark place and had to go back into an inpatient facility. Robert, then I knew that he was praying about me, and he kept trying to like call me when I was in the rehab, when I was in the inpatient. I just kept ignoring his calls. And then finally I answered the call. He just prayed over me. He just cast out whatever spirit was influencing my mind at the time. And then I just felt freed. I just felt lifted. After that situation is when I really started heavily just diving into my life. I'd had some very intense spiritual experiences that I'm not gonna get too deep into on this video. That was when I really started questioning, okay, why does everything keep pointing back to Jesus? Why does everything keep pointing back to Jesus? And I started just going through those things in myself. Let me tell you, when it came to following the Lord, I was very stubborn because I wanted to try out everything else out there. But after a series of things, I eventually came to the Lord. I had actually tried 2 times to go to Born Like Others, and it just didn't work out. Like my heart just wasn't in the right place. I feel like I just wasn't connected to the Lord the way that I should be. I was really just doing it all in my own strength. And I still hadn't fully given my life to Christ, like fully just surrendered everything to him. I started praying, maybe worshiping a little bit here and there, but I was not in any way, shape, or form fully surrendered to Jesus Christ. The 2 times that I tried to go to Uganda before, even though I had bought my plane ticket, both of those times failed. At one point, you know, when I was restarting this journey, when I was going on this mission, I saw it as discouragement. You know, I was like, well, I already tried twice, you know, what if it fails again? But God has really just confirmed in my heart that those 2 times I just wasn't ready. And now God is like, you're ready. All of this to kind of wrap around just the deep call that I feel about this trip. So when it comes to my personal testimony, Born Like Others is so divinely planted and intertwined with my life and with even my story of becoming a believer that I just know that this is really a part of my personal purpose and my personal calling and what God is calling me to do overall as my personal mission in life. This mission, I really feel like, is just going to be the first of many to come. And I just really believe that God is going to do just such amazing things. Even this whole 9-year process getting to this point, I'm honestly in awe of like now looking back and seeing all of the things God has been doing kind of like behind the scenes, you know, without me knowing, how even he connected me and Robert. Every single point in my life seemed to be like in some way or another leading to like this point right now. I just know so deeply God is just about to show up in a way like never before for these kids. You guys who are watching, who are supporting, you guys get to be a part of witnessing this with me. The other day I was like caught up in all this stress. It's like, oh, how is this gonna work out, God? How am I gonna go there, for 2 weeks without working? And how are we gonna raise all these funds that the kids need for like the water tank for their school fees? And I'm just going through all these things in my mind. And God's like, get excited to watch me move. Yes, this is impossible. Like in your own mind, yes, you can't make any of this happen by yourself. So get excited to watch me move. Look at what I've already done in your life up to this point. I don't know what exactly it is, but God is like, you are meant to be connected to this group of children in Uganda, thousands of miles away. God connected us. There's no logical reason why we should even be connected. I shouldn't even be saved right now. I shouldn't honestly even be alive right now, but I am. God is doing something here, and I just feel it so strongly. I just wanted to come on here and share you guys some of the intricacy of what God has been forming, what God has been doing in my life personally. Thank you to those who have supported so far. Thank you for those who have been praying, those who have been covering. There's something happening. I don't know what it is, but it's just God's timing.